clinical significance of radial artery. Second clinical significance of radial artery is for coronary graft. Coronary graft, bypass surgery, coronary artery bypass. Radial artery segment was taken for for the graft, coronary graft. Nowadays, there are different materials available. They don't go for that. This was earlier. Earlier, it was the great saphenous vein from the thigh or radial artery. They used to take the piece of that for coronary graft. Nowadays, depends on how much dollar you have. Okay. So that is about the radial artery. Medially, we have ulnar artery. Can you see that? This is the ulnar artery, and this one is the ulnar nerve. Ulnar artery and ulnar nerve. Okay? The ulnar artery in relation to the wrist joint divides into superficial branch and deep branch. Both branches, they enter the palm to take part in the respective arches. Superficial palmar arch, deep palmar arch. The superficial branch is not there. Please try to see the picture. It may be there in one of the jar specimen. Superficial palmar arch, if it is labeled, identify the structure labeled. For example, 5. Superficial palmar arch. Name the different ways of its completion, how it is completed. Superficial palmar arch is completed by 1. Superficial palmar branch of the radial artery, which is the usual one. It can be completed by arteria princeps pollicis, arteria radialis indicis. Okay, superficial palmar branch of the radial artery, or arteria princeps pollicis going to the pollex or the thumb, arteria radialis indicis or going to the index finger. 3 ways of completion. Is it clear? Please remember that. That may be important for spotters. Completion of the superficial palmar arch. Okay, so that is about the ulnar artery and ulnar nerve, these muscles. Next is flexor retinaculum. Can you see this one? This is the flexor retinaculum. There is a flexor retinaculum. The flexor retinaculum. What is flexor retinaculum? It is the thickening of the fascia in front of the wrist joint, which prevents the bowing or hyperactivity of the flexor tendons on their way to the palm. If the flexor retinaculum is not there, the tendon will stand through the skin where it contracts. It will stand through the skin, which is prevented by flexor retinaculum. In general, wristband. It works like wristband. Okay? Don't write wristband. Anyway, flexor retinaculum. Okay. For the spotters, what is important? Flexor retinaculum, we can ask the attachment of the flexor retinaculum. Okay? Medial and lateral attachment. It is attached to, medially it is attached to the pisiform and hamate. Laterally it is attached to scaphoid and triquetral. Scaphoid and triquetral. Is it clear? So laterally scaphoid, triquetral, medially pisiform and hamate. Okay? There is attachment. Now, by this attachment, it will convert this gap. Flexor retinaculum will convert this gap into a tunnel. Okay? The structures from the forearm to the palm, either they should pass superficial to the flexor retinaculum or deep to the flexor retinaculum. So another question will be, for the spotters, name the structures passing superficial to the flexor retinaculum. Superficial to the flexor retinaculum, we have ulnar nerve and vessels. Palmaris longest tendon. Okay, ulnar nerve and vessels. Palmaris longest tendon of palmaris longest. Palmar cutaneous branch of the radial and ulnar nerve. Radial and ulnar nerve. Is it clear? So those are the structures which are passing superficial to the flexor retinaculum. What are the structures passing deep? All the flexor tendons except palmaris longest, all are passing deep to the flexor retinaculum along with median nerve. Can you see this? Along with the median nerve. There's a median nerve. Is it clear? So if there is infection and inflammation of the synovial sheath covering these tendons deep to the flexor retinaculum, the median nerve can get compressed, leading to a syndrome called as carpal tunnel syndrome. To relieve the syndrome, surgically it can be corrected by sectioning the flexor retinaculum, or going deep to the flexor retinaculum, we can leave or make space for the nerve to pass. Is it clear? So usually they section the retinaculum and suture it back. Relieve the nerve, suture it back. So that is the flexor retinaculum. Is it clear? That's clear, isn't it? Okay. Next is the palm. There are 20 muscles in the palm. 20. So this is thenar eminence, thenar eminence. This is hypothenar eminence. Thenar eminence, hypothenar eminence. Okay. Thenar eminence made up of 4 thenar muscles. Hypothenar eminence made up of 4 hypothenar muscles. 4 lumbricals, 4 palmar interosseae, 4 dorsal interosseae. 4, 4, 4, 4. 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. 5 times 4 is 20. Okay? 4 thenar muscles, 4 hypothenar muscles, 4 lumbricals, 4 palmar interosseae, 4 dorsal interosseae. 5 into 4, 20 supposed to be. Okay. Now thenar muscles. I will tell the names only. Okay? I will come to the muscles later. Just tell the names. Thenar muscles. Abductor pollicis brevis, lateral most. Abductor pollicis brevis. Then flexor pollicis brevis, opponens pollicis muscle, and deep. Adductor pollicis muscle. Deep is opponens pollicis. I repeat. Abductor pollicis brevis, lateral most. Flexor pollicis brevis, adductor pollicis, and deep is opponens pollicis. 4 muscles. Okay? Hypothenar muscles, abductor digiti minimi, flexor digiti minimi. Between the 2 and deep is opponens digiti minimi. In the superficial fascia, I said in the superficial fascia of the hypothenar eminence, we have palmaris brevis. Palmaris brevis muscle. I said in the superficial fascia. Okay, please remember. In the superficial fascia. Please hear correctly. In the superficial fascia, we have palmaris brevis. Okay, so name of the 4 muscles I said. Then lumbricals 4, palmar interosseae 4, dorsal interosseae 4. First, let me finish off palmaris brevis muscle. I said it is the muscle present in the superficial fascia. Do you know any other muscle present in the superficial fascia? Huh? We are showing the action of the muscle. We are showing the action of the muscle present in the superficial fascia. She is also showing. She is also showing.
Folding of the arm. Me seeing face smiling.
Muscles of facial expression.
The man was folding.
So that's what you have studied already. You have finished that. The muscles of facial expression, except levator palpebrae superioris. Okay, that's also muscle. Okay, muscle, one of the muscle of facial expression. Anyway, in general, muscles of facial expression, muscle of the auricle, occipitofrontalis muscle, not auricle, scalp. Muscle of the scalp, occipitofrontalis muscle, muscle of the auricle, auricularis anterior, auricularis superior, auricularis posterior. Muscle of the neck, platysma, muscle of the neck, muscle of the palm, palmaris brevis, muscle in the scrotum, dartos. All these muscles are present in the superficial fascia. I repeat, muscles of facial expression, muscle of the skull, muscles of the auricle, muscle of the neck, palmaris brevis, dartos muscle. They are all present in the superficial fascia. Okay? In case of 4-legged animals, In the superficial fascia, there is a continuous sheet of muscle called as peniculus carnosus. Peniculus carnosus, which in the human beings, in the process of evolution, becomes degenerated in most of the parts, except it remains in the face as muscles of facial expression, auricle, muscles of the auricle, scalp, muscle of the scalp, neck, platysma muscle, palm, palmaris brevis, scrotum, dartos muscle. Is it clear? So peniculus carnosus remains in these regions in human beings in the process of evolution. So in the lower animals, if you keep anything on the skin, you will see the movement of the skin. That is because of single sheet of muscle present in the superficial fascia. It will move the skin. But we can do like this, isn't it? We can do like this. That's why it is degenerated. We can use the hand. That's why it is degenerated in most of the parts. Now you may ask, why it is present in the face? To show the expression. Be happy. Smile. So 50% of facial care is taken care by your smile and speech. Tongue, muscle of the tongue, muscle of facial expression. If you talk and smile, they will be happiest people. Doctor is very nice. He spoke to me in detail. Half of the condition will be solved. Problem will be solved. So be nice to the patient. One. That is in the muscle facial expression. These muscles, how can they show their expression? One end of the muscle is attached to the skin, other end is attached to the bone. That's why deep fascia is absent in the face, except in the parotid region as parotidomesenteric fascia. Otherwise, you can show the expression because deep fascia is absent. Is it clear? Okay. Then what is its function in the scrotum, dartos muscle? Temperature regulation. It will constrict or relax to regulate the temperature. Lesser temperature facilitates better spermatogenesis. Is it clear? That's why to regulate the scrotal temperature, to be exact, test the temperature of the testes. Okay, so that is about the palmaris brevis. Now, all these muscles, all the 20 muscles are mainly supplied by deep branch of the ulnar nerve, except first and second lumbrical supplied by the median nerve, abductor pollicis brevis, opponens pollicis, flexor pollicis brevis. Flexor pollicis brevis, opponens pollicis muscle and abductor pollicis brevis along with first and second lumbricals are supplied by median nerve. These 5 muscles are supplied by median nerve, rest all muscles are supplied by deep branch of the ulnar nerve. Please remember for the spotters, deep branch of the ulnar nerve. Spotters or for MCQ. Is it clear? But for DM ortho, if they ask palmaris brevis, it is also supplied by ulnar nerve but superficial branch of ulnar nerve. Is it clear? Okay, so that is about the nerve supply. Now, can you show me the lumbricals? Aishwarya. I said there are 4 lumbricals, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Yeah. No. She doesn't want to.
Yeah, das ist der Lumbricus von der
Why I'm asking? Because okay, anyway, leave it. Show me the introitiate if it is not lumbrical. Lumbricals, action you should remember. What is the other name for lumbricals? They are also called as writing muscles. Yes. First 2 are unipinnate, next 2 are bipinnate. So, lumbrical muscle, they bring about flexion at the metacarpophalangeal joint, extension at the interphalangeal joint, flexion at the metacarpophalangeal, extension at the interphalangeal joint. That's why they are also called as writing muscles. Also called as writing muscles. Is it clear? Is it clear? Okay. Now dorsal and palmar introitiate. Dorsal introitiate 4 in number, palmar introitiate 4 in number. Dorsal introitiate D, AP bring about abduction. Dorsal introitiate abduction. Abduction. Axis of movement is middle finger. Axis of movement is middle finger. Any movement away from the middle finger is called as abduction. Towards the middle finger is called as adduction. Okay? So, 4 PAD, P-A-D, palmar interosseous, 4 palmar interosseous, they bring about adduction, and 4 dorsal interosseous, they bring about abduction. Remember, if you look at the picture, when you go home and look at the picture, 4 dorsal interosseous are attached to, 4 dorsal interosseous are attached to or inserted to these 3 fingers only. 2 to this finger because it is axis of movement. You should not move either side. And remaining 2 are attached to these 2 fingers to bring about abduction. Is it clear? No abductor for thumb and little finger because they have got their own abductor pollicis brevis, abductor digiti minimi. Please remember, for DM they ask this question. Doesn't mean that we will ask for you, but in general, what did you study? If they ask, you should be able to recollect something at least. Okay? So that's why there is no abductor for these 2. I mean dorsal interosseous for these 2. Dorsal interosseous. Is it clear? Palmar interosseous, PAD, adduction, the 4 for 4. So that is about the interosseous muscles. Lumbricals, interosseous. Okay, that's over. Next, coming to extensor compartment. I'll show the muscles, maybe important for spotters. One by one, please see from lateral to medial. Brachioradialis. Can you see that? Brachioradialis muscle. Extensor carpi radialis longus muscle. Extensor carpi radialis longus muscle. Extensor carpi radialis brevis muscle. Extensor carpi radialis brevis muscle. Telling only superficial muscles now. Extensor digitorum muscle. Extensor digitorum muscle. Extensor digiti minimi muscle. Extensor carpi ulnaris muscle. Anconeus muscle. Anconeus. Okay, so anconeus, this is the anconeus. Extensor carpi ulnaris. Extensor digiti minimi. Extensor digitorum. Extensor carpi radialis brevis. Extensor carpi radialis longus. Brachioradialis. Is it clear? Superficial muscles. Deep muscles. Abductor pollicis longus. Extensor pollicis brevis. Extensor pollicis longus. Extensor indicis. Okay, and supinator. See that? Supinator or supinator. See that? So this is supinator. Okay, you can see clearly in the cubital fossa where it forms the floor of the cubital fossa, lower part of the floor. Okay, is it clear? So deep muscles, I repeat, abductor pollicis longus. This is the abductor pollicis longus. This is the extensor pollicis brevis. Extensor pollicis longus. Extensor indicis. Okay, and this muscle is the supinator or supinator. All these muscles are supplied by branches coming from the posterior interosseous nerve, except anconeus, supplied by direct branch from radial. Brachioradialis, supplied by direct branch from the radial. Extensor carpi radialis longus, direct branch from the radial. I repeat, brachioradialis, extensor carpi radialis longus, anconeus. They are supplied by direct branch coming from the radial nerve. The rest of the superficial and deep muscles are supplied by posterior interosseous branch of radial. Is it clear? So no supply. If it is asked, please, you should be able to tell. Next is anconeus. Anconeus. This is the anconeus. Okay, anconeus muscle. What is anconeus? Anconeus muscle. Clear? Okay. Now next is all these muscles on their way to the palm. They have to pass deep to the extensor retinaculum. Now this is the extensor retinaculum. The one which I am touching the extensor retinaculum. The one which I am touching is the extensor retinaculum. Thickening of the deep fascia on the dorsal aspect of the wrist joint, that is the extensor retinaculum. Extensor retinaculum laterally it is attached to the lower part of the anterior part of the radius. Okay, lower part of the anterior part of the radius. Medially it is attached to pisiform and triquetral bone. Deep to the extensor retinaculum, there are 6 compartments. Deep to the extensor retinaculum, there are 6 compartments which may be important for MCQ, especially the 4th compartment. Okay, name all of the following structures pass through the 4th compartment of the extensor retinaculum except 4th compartment of the extensor retinaculum except. Okay, now let me tell the structures passing through each compartment one by one. First compartment transmits abductor pollicis longus, extensor pollicis brevis. First compartment. Second compartment transmits extensor carpi radialis longus, extensor carpi radialis brevis. You can see that this tendons here. Okay. Can you see the tendons here? Okay. So second compartment transmits extensor carpi radialis longus and extensor carpi radialis brevis. Third compartment transmits extensor pollicis longus. Fourth compartment transmits 4 structures: extensor digitorum, extensor indicis, posterior interosseous nerve, anterior interosseous vessels. Okay, I repeat, 4th compartment transmits extensor indicis, extensor digitorum, posterior interosseous nerve, anterior interosseous vessels. 5th compartment transmits extensor digiti minimi. 6th compartment transmits extensor carpi ulnaris. Is it clear? So those are the 6 compartments and structures passing through each compartment. Please remember that. Nerve supply, action of this muscle. The action, the name itself indicates the action. Okay? Except brachioradialis. Brachioradialis muscle brings about flexion in mid-prone position. This is the mid-prone position. Flexion at the elbow joint is brought about by brachioradialis. Is it clear? That's clear? Okay. So that is about the muscles. Next. If you look at this one, carpal bones. 4 plus 4, 8 carpal bones. She looks too pretty. Try to catch her mnemonic to remember the carpal bones. Scaphoid, lunate, triquetral, pisiform, trapezium, trapezoid, capitate, hamate. Is it clear? Carpal bones. Now, what is important? As a doctor, you should know the clinical significance of their ossification. Whether the child is killed or born dead. Born dead in the sense because of some problem. Born dead means not exactly born dead. The child died because of some problem. If there is no problem, how the child died, whether he or she was killed. Now, how to make out the age of the child? By looking at the ossification center. In the X-ray, if you look at the ossification center, appearance of ossification center for the capitated hamate means child was 1 year old. Healthy means it was viable, fine. Somebody killed. Okay, so you should be able to spot the ossification center for the pisiform, capitate and hamate. The capitate and hamate are the 2 largest carpal bones. This is the hook of the hamate. So that is the hamate bone. This is the capitate. So this is the hamate. That is the capitate. Capitate has got cap or head. Capitate, and this is the hamate. Okay, capitate, hamate, 2 largest bones. Is it clear? You have to remember. So I think you have given in the class 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Isn't it? 12. 2, 1 means 12. 12, that is for the pisiform. Secondary center, secondary ossification center appears for the pisiform on the 12th year. It's the last bone, last carpal bone to show signs of ossification. Okay, first is capitate and hamate, first year. Is it clear? So that is the clinical significance one. Second is scaphoid fracture is the worst fracture one could have. Scaphoid fracture is the worst fracture one could have. The reason is it is less vascular. If there is fracture of the scaphoid, it will take months to heal because of less vascularity. You should remember that. Very, very important. When you go to the clinics, definitely they will ask which carpal bone has got less vascularity. Is it clear? Please remember that. Ossification they will ask, name of the carpal bones, ossification, and scaphoid they will ask. Okay, please remember that. So that is about the carpal bone. Humerus, sorry, tibia, not tibia, radius. Everything is getting mixed up. Radius, we may keep it in the exam. Identify the bone kept. Radius, you will identify radius. But name the bones articulating with the bone kept. Name all the bones articulating with the bone kept. What are the bones articulating with the bone? Radius. What bones articulate? At the proximal end, proximal end we have humerus and ulna. At the distal end, we have the scaphoid and lunate. Scaphoid, lunate. Radius here, it is for the humerus, and medially for the ulna. Is it clear? Fracture of the radius is quite common. Fracture of the radius is quite common. Two types of fracture segment may get dislodged ventrally or dorsally. Depending upon that, the fracture is called as Colles fracture or Smith's fracture. Smith's fracture or Colles fracture. How to remember which is Smith's fracture and which is Colles fracture. You have SUV vehicle, anybody is an SUV vehicle. SUV, S for Smith, V for ventral. Dislocation of the segment ventrally. Dislocation of the segment ventrally. S for Smith, ventral dislocation, that is Smith's fracture. Another one is Colles fracture, dorsal dislocation. You will remember, if I tell this one, you may remember, otherwise definitely you will forget, I know that. Okay? Okay, then that is about the fracture of the radius. Next, joints. Shoulder joint is the multi-axial, highly mobile, ball and socket variety of synovial joint. It is highly mobile, so mobility at the shoulder joint is at the cost of stability. It is the least stable joint. It is made little bit stronger by somewhat shallow glenoidal labrum. One. Second, ligaments of the shoulder joint. Third, rotator cuff muscles. These are the structures which give some stability to the weak shoulder joint. Rest you have to read. Ligament, there is nothing much. Then elbow joint. Why I am telling the joints and the type and subtype for EMQ in case if they ask for EMQ in case. Elbow joint is a hinged variety of synovial joint. Hinged. Movement takes place in only one axis, flexion and extension. Okay? Then radioulnar joint. Superior, middle and inferior radioulnar joint. Superior and inferior radioulnar joint are pivot. Is it pivot or pivot or?
Pivot.
Pivot. Pivot variety of synovial joint. Pivot variety of synovial joint is superior and inferior radioulnar joint. Middle radioulnar joint is syndesmosis variety of fibrous joint. Syndesmosis variety of fibrous joint. So in the middle radioulnar joint, we have the interosseous membrane. Definitely they will ask, not now, DM. They will ask the direction of the interosseous membrane. Interosseous membrane is directed downwards and medially. from radius to ulna, downwards and medially. But force is transmitted from the palm to the radius. From the radius, it has to come to ulna because ulna has got greater articulation with the humerus. From ulna, it has to go to humerus. So when the force is traveling like this, it has to come and travel like this. Some amount of shock is absorbed. That is the reason why the interosseous membrane is directed downwards and medially. Is it clear? Okay. So that is about the three joints. Wrist joint, ellipsoid variety of synovial joint. Ellipsoid variety of synovial joint. Then carpo-metacarpal joint of the thumb. Saddle variety of synovial joint. Saddle variety of synovial joint. Carpo-metacarpal joint. Carpo-metacarpal. Okay. Sorry, metacarpophalangeal. Metacarpophalangeal joint is condylar variety of synovial joint. Interphalangeal joint is hinge variety of synovial joint. Hinge variety of synovial joint. Is it clear? So hinge variety of synovial joint, condylar variety of synovial joint, and this is saddle variety of synovial joint, ellipsoid variety of synovial joint, pivot variety of synovial joint, superior and inferior, middle is syndesmosis variety of fibrous joint, elbow joint is hinge variety, shoulder joint is ball and socket variety of synovial joint. Clear? Now let me talk about the movements in relation to the thumb. Thumb is the carpo-metacarpal joint of the thumb is highly mobile joint. Nowadays the technology is so much advanced. Even though if the thumb is not there, they will convert the index finger into thumb for the action of somewhat, not exactly, for the action of thumb. Clear? The thumb, what are the actions taking place at the carpo-metacarpal joint of the thumb? This is flexion. Remember, this is flexion. This is extension. Flexion, extension. Right angle to the palm is abduction. Abduction, adduction. Okay? Opponents, counting, opponents, and circumduction. These are the movements taking place at the carpo-metacarpal joint of the thumb. Thank you.
That's it?
I said thank you.
That's it?
Any doubt, please ask me. I did not tell about veins and all. Cephalic vein, basilic vein, median cubital vein. Cephalic vein is, see the formation. Lateral end of the dorsal venous arch. Medial end is the basilic vein. Median cubital vein connected to, used for intravenous injection or drawing the blood for clinical investigations. Okay? Please see that. If there is any doubt, please ask in the next class. Okay, God bless.